Y'all, the silence is officially over because Chef Mila just dropped a video that completely changed the energy online, and this time her message was aimed directly at Cardi. She basically looked into the camera and said, "Girl, stop acting confused. You know exactly what's been happening behind closed doors." She started exposing the way Stefon allegedly treated Cardi during her pregnancy, the cold behavior in the hospital, the emotional chaos nobody saw publicly, and suddenly everything people brushed off before started sounding way too real. So yeah, we need to talk about this mess. Now we all saw Cardi beside Stefon again this weekend, smiling at another one of his charity events like everything was perfect, and honestly at this point people are asking how many times she's gonna keep standing beside this man while he keeps embarrassing her in public. Meanwhile, what has he really done for her besides pop up to a concert or two? Nothing. And that's why it's frustrating watching her constantly ride for him while he keeps making her look foolish in front of the entire internet. The crazy part is, before now nobody had solid proof. All we had were those alleged stories from Offset telling Selena Powell that Stefon treated Cardi horribly in the hospital, refused to sign paperwork, disappeared for days, and left her emotionally wrecked after giving birth. That was all rumor territory before. But honestly, a lot of people believed it anyway because nothing about this pregnancy looked happy. First off, there were allegedly other women involved at the same exact time. Second, where was the baby shower? Every single time Cardi had children before, she went all out with huge celebrations, luxury decorations, viral maternity shoots, the whole thing. But this time, nothing. No glowing photos. No romantic moments. No beautiful family rollout. No Stefon and Cardi maternity pictures anywhere. It felt empty, secretive, and honestly depressing. Yet every time she pops back up with him, people online scream, "Oh my god, they are so in love." No baby, that's not love. Not even close. And let's not forget, both Chef Mila and Cardi already admitted publicly that they were cool with each other and talked behind the scenes. Back when everything exploded in January, Cardi literally admitted she had been speaking to this girl every single day and claimed Mila never warned her about anything. So clearly these women had communication. They knew each other personally. Well, today, Chef Mila finally released a message, and honestly I think she did it because Cardi recently defended Shy Charles, saying she knew her character and didn't believe she would ever cross boundaries like that, while accusing Mila of just saying things to upset her. And listening to Cardi say that honestly sounded like somebody who's been manipulated by a serial cheater for way too long, because that's exactly what these men do. They always say they jealous. They lying. They trying to ruin what we got. That's the oldest trick in the book. Every cheater says the same thing. They don't want to see us happy. So when Cardi started repeating those exact words, I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there like, girl, you really buying this? Like, come on now, you from the Bronx, you know how these situations go. But anyways, listen to what Chef Mila said because this is where everything turned dark. She said the way Stefon treated Cardi while pregnant, the way he spoke to her during that vulnerable time, the way people around him allegedly watched it happen and still defended him, is something she'll never understand. She talked about the delivery room, the emotional abuse afterward, and even claimed the same man who allegedly hurt Cardi mentally also hurt her. Then she said their messages exposed the way he belittled Cardi privately and reminded her about one specific night they both remember, a night so serious she refused to even fully reveal it on camera, because according to her, that's not my story to tell. Once again, she ended the message with an apology and said maybe one day Cardi would finally wake up and face the truth for what it really is. And honestly, after hearing everything she said, it's getting harder and harder not to believe her because when you look at those alleged messages between Stefon and Mila, you can instantly tell the type of energy this man carries. The disrespect jumps straight through the screen. The arrogance. The control. The can't nobody tell me what to do attitude. That's not the way a man talks when he respects women. That's the kind of dude who thinks he owns every room he walks into, the type who tears women down emotionally and then acts shocked when people call him toxic. Y'all can hear the aggression in those texts alone. The way he allegedly snapped, cursed, and bragged about doing whatever he wanted with whoever he wanted painted a very ugly picture. And I'm sorry, but people like that don't suddenly become gentle behind closed doors. That's why it confuses so many people watching Cardi still standing beside him after everything that's come out. The only explanation that even makes sense at this point is manipulation. I can already imagine him sitting there feeding her guilt trips, telling her stuff like, "Ever since I got with you my life got ruined. If I never dated you, none of this would have happened. I lost opportunities because of this spotlight. I need you beside me. Help me rebuild my image the same way I supported you." Because seriously, what else could explain this? How does the trial end? And almost immediately she's right back publicly supporting him like none of this happened. That's what hurts people watching this, because Cardi is not stupid. She came from the Bronx. She grew up seeing game from a mile away. She already survived one messy public relationship with Offset. She knows exactly how cheaters move, how manipulators lie, how they twist reality until the victim starts doubting themselves. So seeing her ignore all these warning signs is honestly disappointing, because she has all the power in this situation. She could cut him off tomorrow and completely destroy his image without even trying. She could turn this entire situation into the biggest album of her career. She has the platform, the voice, the fan base, everything. Yet somehow she's handing all the control to a man people are calling trash online every single day. But what really caught everybody's attention was the part where Chef Mila hinted that Stefon might secretly be battling something deeper inside himself. Hold on, because I think she actually wrote it in the caption. Let me read this carefully, because the internet immediately started connecting dots. So in the caption she posted under the video, even though the timestamp looked weird saying October 24th, she wrote that she was thrown into a horrible situation, and that Cardi didn't deserve any of it, especially while pregnant. Then she added, "It happened to you too." Now people are trying to figure out exactly what she meant by that. Was she talking about cheating? Emotional abuse? Physical situations? Or maybe all of it together? She continued by saying nothing she said in court was meant to attack Cardi, and honestly I believe that too, because it didn't sound like jealousy. It sounded like somebody desperately trying to warn another woman about the type of man she's attached to. She said she was the one apologizing for how he allegedly treated Cardi during pregnancy and after childbirth, and that their private messages supposedly prove everything. Then came the line that really shook social media. She wrote, "A man at war with himself will hurt everybody around him." Phew. Y'all already know the internet ran wild with that sentence. People instantly started speculating about what she was implying. They started bringing up the fashion choices, the purses, the pink outfits, the overcompensating energy, and saying maybe she's hinting that he's fighting an identity battle internally while trying too hard to prove how much he loves women publicly. Now listen, that's just internet speculation, but clearly that's the direction people think she was pointing toward. Then she finished by saying that when a man is fighting himself internally, women become collateral damage in the process, and she no longer wants her name dragged into the situation anymore. But let's be real, this entire message was obviously directed at Cardi. It felt less like an attack and more like a final warning. Like she was saying, "I'm not trying to destroy you, I'm trying to open your eyes." Meanwhile, you already know Stefon, his family, his circle, all of them are probably trying to convince Cardi that every woman speaking up is lying or clout chasing. But again, those alleged messages told a completely different story, because the man in those texts sounded proud of his behavior. He allegedly admitted flat out that nobody could stop him from sleeping with whoever he wanted, and that mindset alone tells you everything. He's going to continue doing exactly what he does as long as people keep tolerating it, and right now people feel like Cardi is tolerating way too much. And honestly, why? She doesn't need the money. She doesn't need the attention. Her kids definitely don't need to grow up around chaos like this. And I'm tired of people in the comments acting like she has no choice because he's the father of her children. Please. Co-parenting does not mean showing up smiling at every event while somebody keeps humiliating you publicly. Boundaries exist for a reason. Visitation exists for a reason. Support doesn't mean self-destruction. At some point she has to stop pouring loyalty into somebody who keeps draining her emotionally and finally move forward with her life. And if we are being honest, the world already knows that album would break the internet. But anyways, I need to know what you'll think about all this tea, because personally I feel like Mila still knows way more than she's revealing, and something tells me this story is far from over while Cardi still hasn't fully responded at all.